minor deal went down this morning, and it's an interesting one because Michael Kempny, going into last season, so not this season, but last season, was seen as a really not necessarily a top 4 guy, but pretty decent depth guy they picked up, and here we are a year and a half later, and after some issues where his agent didn't think that the Blackhawks were using him correctly, which if you talk to Blackhawks fans, they'll tell you has been going on a lot. Kempny goes to the Washington Capitals to shore up their blue line. And I don't know if he ends up being top 6 there or if he ends up being the number 7 guy. But either way, Washington picks themselves up a little bit of depth. And all they have to give up is a 3rd-round draft pick. And it's whichever... They have 2 3rd-round draft picks, and the one that rates higher in the draft is the one that goes to Chicago. So if Toronto's 3rd-rounder ends up being a really good 1st-rounder, then that's where it'll go. I believe at least it's the higher of the 2. Anyways, the interesting thing to me is the Kempny part of this. Because he was one of these guys in his mid-20s, and there's a number of guys that Chicago's got, and I'm going to get into Chicago's roster in another video in a bit here. But they have this overturn in their roster that they've needed, and there's a number of, and again I'm going to get into this in a bit. But I wonder is this Kempny just didn't work out, or is this the Kempny wasn't utilized correctly by the Chicago Blackhawks? That's the big question I have with this trade, because it's one of the two. Either he didn't live up to the expectation, or they didn't give him the chance to live up to the expectation. And the Blackhawks are not a team that is awash with great defensemen right now. There are some issues there. So I'm aware, too, that Chicago has some prospects on the blue line. And again, I'm going to do a video on that because I did promise that for teams that are selling right now, that I would get into who they have, who they might get rid of, what they have going forward, and how the 18-19 season could turn out, that kind of thing. Kempny won't be a part of it for Chicago. He becomes a part of the Washington Capitals. I personally view it as curious. Because, as I said, going into last season, there was a view among a lot of Blackhawk fans that, I talked to on my channel that, Kempny was going to be possibly not a big part, but an important part of the team going forward, and that didn't really happen. So is Quenneville... was Quenneville right to not have Kempny in the everyday lineup, or was this a matter of Chicago potentially damaging the development of a player due to the way that they're using him? So I'd be interested to know what Chicago Blackhawk fans think about this trade, and hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. We're getting closer to the deadline. We're a week away. Again, it's just minor deals that are going on right now, but I do anticipate that we're going to see some not huge names. I do have the 1 week till deadline video to do today, and I'll get into that then. But again, this is just Kempny. Underutilized by Chicago, or didn't turn out. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon.